Everybody, my name is John Raitt and I'm a Catholic priest, and I'd like to speak to you a little bit about a journey that I went on in October last year, and that was the journey of a pilgrimage. It was a lovely thing to be able to do, to lead a group of 40 people from Sydney here and around Australia up to Europe. And our first stop was in Portugal, and we went to Fatima. And our last stop really was in Lourdes in France. But it sounds simple, but the whole thing was really a wonderful experience and a journey for me, which I really liked. So first off, we caught up with each other at the hotel in the capital of Portugal, and which is a great city, Lisbon, and some of us had flown direct, others had come in other ways, and we met there, and we had a lovely afternoon's rest after the long flight from Australia. And one of the loveliest things I did was then I couldn't go for a rest. This is my first time in this beautiful city, so I took this lovely couple with me and we walked through the old city, Michael and Gloria, the couple from Brisbane. And we had a marvellous time just going through these old streets in the city. And we reminded ourselves that the city of Lisbon was actually destroyed pretty well in 1776 by an earthquake. Then a tsunami came, and most of the area where we were was struggling to survive at the earthquake. But there were some old places too, so it was quite a lovely place to be in. And it was lovely to be with them because they started to tell us a little bit of their story. And in a pilgrimage, what happens is, generally speaking, you're a bit relaxed and you start to talk about how life is and what's been good in life. And I love that. So part of my job as being a spiritual director on a pilgrimage is to be there and be a sounding board for people to talk about life. And a pilgrimage, it's a little miniature of our lives in a sense, and we go on a pilgrimage for all sorts of reasons, and we find it's not so much the destination to finish a pilgrimage, it's being together that makes a lot of impact on you, on each of us. So we then, the next day, we had a lovely look at Lisbon more officially, at least in the morning. We actually went to the birthplace of St. Anthony. Now St. Anthony, you might have heard of St. Anthony of Padua, that's where he died. If you lose things, you pray to St. Anthony. Well, we went to the place where he was actually born, and the people of Portugal love to say that St. Anthony is theirs rather than the people of Padua. But it was lovely to pray in the house where he was born, which is now a little chapel, and to think of him and to think of the many people that have a devotion to Anthony. And then we were in a bus and we went to this place called Fatima. Well, to be truthful, I suppose I wasn't really looking forward to Fatima in some ways. It's a place where Our Lady is said to have appeared way back in 1917, during the Russian Revolution times, or just before. And when I was growing up, we used to pray for the conversion of Russia, and Our Lady of Fatima was big and all of that. But I connected a bit to my past, to my youth, and so in one way I wasn't looking forward to going back there. It seemed a bit old-fashioned to me. But I got a surprise, and I must say this is where the place touched me, because one of the biggest things there is this candlelight procession at night, and we were there on a special anniversary, October the 13th, 1917. Was when Our Lady is said to have appeared, and we were there October the 13th, 2007. So almost 100 years, 90 years later. But I suppose what really touched me was in this beautiful candlelight procession walking around You could see these thousands and thousands of candles. There would have been 40, 50,000 people there. What touched me were these young mums and dads with their kids. And there were just hundreds and hundreds of them. And it's a place that they just love to be at this special time. And I think all of us felt a bit privileged to be there and to hold our candles and to be part of this procession and to sing our songs. And we were touched at a level, and I was thinking, this is what I was thinking, faith's a very simple thing really, and we catch it from other people in so many different ways. And the fact that we were there with all these people just meant such a wonderful difference to me and to others. So we finished that, and we had a day and a half there, and then we went on to a wonderful place from Fatima to a villa. Now a villa is one of those extraordinary walled cities. It's the most beautiful city to see at a distance. And then to be there, you can walk right around the walls if you like. And it's the place where St. Teresa of Avila lived. She was a great mystic in the church, and she was there in the 1500s. And this, we were very privileged because we were there on the feast day of Teresa of Avila. So we were lucky because we saw the Fiesta, we were part of the Fiesta. And we just felt what a wonderful thing these Europeans have got in their cities that have a saint and have a feast day to that saint. They go to church in the morning, then they have a wonderful fiesta in the parade in the late morning, and a fiesta in the afternoon and the evening. I guess that reminded me, it was good for me to be there, just to see how in a lot of these places in Europe, it's a very big thing to have their own patron saint and to celebrate, and the whole town got involved. So I must say that was a great thing, and we all just felt privileged. And when we gathered that night for a beautiful meal, people were saying what part of it had touched them and so on. And so as we're part of this pilgrimage now, at our third or fourth day, we're starting to bond together, and people are opening up about what touched them and all of that sort of stuff. And so there's starting to be a sense of community and starting to have a sense of looking out for one another and being interested in each other. That's already happening on the fourth day. So I must say I was very grateful for that. Then after Avila, we went on our way to another pilgrimage place called Garabandal, but on the way we stopped off at this extraordinary place called Burgos. Now Burgos is a very ancient city of Spain, up in the north, and when Islam controlled nearly all of Spain, this was one of the first places to be liberated from the Muslims. We say liberated, they would say they lost it. That's the way we look at things, isn't it, from our own perspective a bit. So it was one of the first places to be liberated, and they built this amazing cathedral there. And people would come from France and they'd walk to another pilgrimage place called Santiago, but Burgos was a place they loved to stay. So it goes right back to medieval times, an extraordinary cathedral, and we felt privileged to be in a place where for 800 or 900 years people have come as pilgrims to walk through, and here we were as pilgrims doing what generations of people have done. But we are in a bus, we're going the comfortable way. But we're starting to think about our lives too. We're starting to think about